The redemption of Cyberpunk 2077 with Phantom Liberty and patch 2.0 has been, well, legendary. Let's not kid ourselves. But you can make the game even better now.
One mod that literally everyone playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now needs to download is fixed skill progression rewards not applying. With patch 2.01, a new bug was introduced so that when saving the game on this new update, most of the skill progression rewards would just break. So this level 40 Headhunter skill should typically make me cloak in optical camo as I grapple with an enemy, but it just doesn't work. Thankfully, this mod will fix almost all of those, at least until we get that official update from CDPR, so any of these skill rewards will be working once again, although do note that the top Netrunner skill just doesn't.
Honestly, considering CDPR actually does this crazy thing called, I don't know, bug fixing, unlike Bethesda with Starfield, you probably don't even need to download this mod, but this is just bug fixes. Honestly, I think we can skip this, because the bug fix part is useless, because this video is already a couple of days old. They most likely have fixed already everything, let's be completely real here, okay?
Night City. Starting off with some of the quality of life options, unlock me the mods or restore the ability to remove mods from weapons after patch 2.0. So now with this mod, you can freely add and remove mods from weapons. And sniper rifles can also have their scopes removed freely, typically after.
I guess this is great if you want this. This is understandable, I think, because a lot of people, there are good reasons to make it so that when you remove an attachment in the game, it breaks and you need to make it again. And good reasons for not to have that when you can just reattach it at any point that you want. Because, you know, it kind of technically makes sense. But it also, not breaking the attachments when removing it, I personally am not a fan of it. Because that just means you craft it once and there you go. The crafting system no longer is ever useful, almost. And I don't like it when that happens. So I'm kind of personally a fan when you remove something, it breaks.
2.0, weapons classified as a sniper would have their scope attachment locked.
Oh, by the way, but only in single-player games. If you do that in a multiplayer game, you know, I'm Googling where your location is, okay?
Once you applied it, this will remove that lock, and it even has a really nice feature of automatically removing mods applied to weapons if you scrap or sell them. So as you scrap a weapon, it'll return all of the attachments and mods to your inventory. Another highly requested change is infinite attribute reset. So you'll be able to reset your attributes as many times as you want, instead of just that one-time opportunity after loading in with an existing save under patch 2.0.
This seems obvious, right? Why do they, by the way, not allow this to be an infinity reset type of thing? Because they want you to make another character. They want you to play ones going for this tree, ones going for this tree, ones going for that tree. Then they want you to play by combining things, because there is a lot of enjoyment to it. It's technically, you know, a new game with a fresh way to play is an experience that you should try if you like the game in general. So this is why this is not in a default game, because they want you to try new things. Because maybe the first time you play the game you enjoyed it. The second time when you play it and you try a different thing, you even enjoy it more. Imagine how great that is. And yeah, just the ability to constantly reset attributes. Well, it does have minuses to it, obviously. It is kind of like eh.
Oh, and a great mod to add on to that is No More Tiers. This will remove the attribute locked tiers that were implemented with patch 2.0. So once again, you're able to freely unlock perks as long as you do have enough available perk points. And alternatively, there is a version of this mod that will simply decrease the attribute cost at each tier instead of removing.
I mean, that's completely busted, honestly. If you wanna be OP, I guess you can do this, because yeah, needless to say, this is blatantly overpowered. But yeah,
entirely if you do like having some barriers as you want to go up, but don't necessarily want the prices to be so high. Specifically, getting to 20 attribute points for the highest tier can be quite cumbersome, so this mod could be a nice halfway point of just making it 12. Smoother dodge or dash is a great one, as this will make using that dodge or even the new dash ability just feel a lot smoother. In vanilla Cyberpunk 2077, after dashing, you basically get this brief period of deceleration. It almost kills your momentum. This mod effectively removes that, so on both dodges and dashes, you will go slightly further, but far more important is your momentum is maintained, and you could really feel it.
Yeah, I don't understand why this is a thing to begin with, honestly. Even in Diablo 4, the game where the developers have never even spent a single second inside of it, because they hate their own game, they actually made the dash ability, the dodge ability, or the evade ability, I should say, in Diablo 4, an actual movement skill that it doesn't destroy your movement after. Because that's what happened, and no one likes it. If you dash and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna be slow for half a second and lose all the progress that I made by dashing, it's just stupid. I don't understand why games do it. I see absolutely not even a single good thing about making a dash slow you at the end of it. And a lot of games do it.
And continue that speed to maneuver more freely and efficiently. But if you're sick and tired of trying and failing to be a stealthy netrunner, disable Reveal Position Hack will remove the ability for enemies to trace you off of quick hacks alone. With one major exception, and that is if you're hacking a netrunner, that netrunner will be able to track your position. There are ways around this in vanilla Cyberpunk, but for a lot of people, you just want to maintain your stealthy ability while quick hacking from afar, and this mod gives you that ability. And a nice one to add to this is the default to data tab. This will revert the 2.0 change where when you scan an enemy, it'll automatically show you the hacking tab instead of the data tab, which gives you information on your enemy. Now, a couple of weeks into patch 2.0, I'd much rather be able to see quickly what the enemy's info is. And if you're looking for a few more of the custom mods to improve the experience with patch 2.0, don't worry, I still got you covered. If you hate how crafting components were removed from junk vendors, the Craft Hardware store is an easy fix. This will add in a new virtual atelier vendor that will sell all of the crafting components for a price. Like here, where I spend almost 1 million eddies stocking up on some of those tier 5 crafting components. For those of you...
1 million eddies, how much does he have? It looks like he has... Oh, he has 4 mil. So it's still not that much. I mean... This is a decent ad, I guess, but seems a little bit redundant.
Sick of the hassle of having to disassemble basically every weapon you encounter to actually keep up with crafting, this is a nice alternative that still has costs associated with it. In a similar vein, there is also the Iconic Shop, which will add in a shop that sells all of the iconics in the game, including the new ones from Phantom Liberty. There are two variants with this mod, one where they sell as legendary, but also the one I prefer where all of these are sold as common. Basically a bunch of tier 1 weapons, which makes it a lot more balanced as you're going to need to invest significant resources to upgrade these to be viable on your character compared to some of the other weapons you have.
That's a good balancing thing, honestly, in my opinion. Not bad.
And I feel like this makes sense because CDPR did literally add a vendor that sells missed iconics, but for some reason it doesn't sell all of the missed iconics. There's still a variety you can miss permanently, and this shop gives you a nice alternative to make sure you don't miss anything. And if you've been missing the Scrapper perk, modders have brought it back. With this mod, as you pick up random junk items, they'll be automatically broken down into crafting components. This was previously a perk in the game, and honestly, it just makes a ton of sense for it to be here. There are a ton of barely valuable junk items you could find in Night City, and it's just a lot handier to have common resources instead of those items. Upgrade weapons unlocked is a mod.
It makes sense.
I'm sure a lot of you are going to like. It allows you to upgrade any weapon in Cyberpunk 2077. There's another feature removed with patch 2.0, where they made it so you could only upgrade iconics, but this mod will expand that functionality to all of the weapons in your inventory, which is particularly handy as most iconics don't have mod slots, while typical weapons do. So you could actually have some very powerful builds with regular tier 5+.
Well, yeah, but again, that's a balanced choice. I mean, there are a couple of things that the recommendations here are, if you want to be OP, well, this is what you get. I don't know, do you guys prefer playing God mode like that? I'm not a big proponent of it, honestly, myself, so it is what it is.
Weapons. Enemy finisher ragdolls will make it so enemies killed by a finisher won't be permanently stuck in this plank-like phase, and instead they'll go into a typical ragdoll-like state after the fact. And what really takes this mod to the next level is stealth finishers from the same author. This mod will add in the ability to use a finisher on enemies as you sneak up behind them with your weapon out. So instead of having to grab them and take them down that way, you can quickly and efficiently take them out with some weapon and oftentimes in brutal fashion. These visuals look amazing, and it's really fun as a way to expand the prevalence of finishers in game. I know for me, I've never used many of these finishers because I just typically don't use...
He's blurring it out because YouTube actually requires you to submit that this video is not gonna be age restricted. Yeah, He's blurting out the bad parts. That's great.
some of these weapons. At times, this could definitely be a bit unimmersive due to how loud some of the finishers are, but you can still maintain stealth. But honestly, with how cool many of these look, the immersion breaking factor doesn't bother me all that much. But another absolutely massive new mod, Lucy from Edgerunners, has been added into Night City. As of right now, this will be a pretty simple one. Lucy will appear in a few locations around Night City. I don't want to spoil them all, although unfortunately...
Look at that ass, boy. You know what up? Well, why else did be like Lucy? It wasn't for the personality. It was not for the personality, okay?
It's largely just a prop here, as you can't really interact with her, but far more impactful is while using Lucy with the appearance menu mod, you could spawn her in as a functional follower. She'll drive around with you or even help you out in combat, and this version of her is scannable with her full background as well as a variety of abilities being present on this NPC. Honestly, it is a pretty simple mod, but I love this one. For those who did really enjoy Edgerunner, seeing some of those characters in Night City is huge, and more so than anything else, I'm excited to see where a mod like this could potentially go in the future. It feels like in many ways this could definitely be the start of something big. Although if you are seeking a bit more interaction with NPCs, Rita Wheeler Romance will add in a new romance option into Night City. Rita Wheeler is the door guard at Lizzie's club, the Mox Club, and of course she's going to be a member of the Mox gang herself. With this mod, the next time you visit her at work, you'll notice some concerning phone calls, and you can even inquire with her, going back and forth with some dialogue.
Okay, now this is what people are all waiting for, okay? A little bit of those romance options. Look at her! I can fix her. I can fix her. Yeah, definitely, I can fix her. This is not even a problem.
A couple of times, eventually Rita will text us, thanking us for checking up on her and offering a bit of a special visit if we're interested. Then as you return to the bar when it's closed, you'll have a full-fledged romance opportunity with Rita if you want to pursue it. It's a relatively small mod, but I honestly think this one's pretty cool. I feel like it is a fairly immersive romance option in the game, and if you want an even more interesting one, you can romance the flaming Crotch Man as well. This one is hilarious. There's a side quest in Cyberpunk 2077 known as Burning Desire. You'll find this man outside his apartment that seems to have had something very bad happen in his crotch area. The job is simple. You take him to a local Ripperdoc who will help him out, and after he's going to text you thanking you. But with this mod, you can take it even further, as a few days later, the Flaming Crotch Man, which is how he is referred to throughout the entirety of this, making it even funnier, will describe how that Ripperdoc gave him a bit of an upgrade, and he invites us to come try it out. Proceeding to another new romance option in Night City, and with this one, Johnny Silverhand will even share his own commentary on the events that are occurring. Ripperdoc is a super handy new mod that allows you to manage your cyberware without ever visiting a Ripperdoc. And while there has been similar mods in the past, this mod is even more handy with patch 2.0 and some of the new mechanics. So
isn't this a little bit completely immersion breaking to a degree? Isn't this a little bit too much on a technical level? I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but kind of feels like it, you know what I'm saying?
Now, you can move around your own cyberware on the fly. You still can't buy cyberware, but you could swap out what you have installed or even upgrade some of your cyberware without having to visit a Ripperdoc. And changing around some of the ARM cyberware can be genuinely handy on the move because of the new...
Now, upgrading cyberware on the fly, now, that seems reasonable. That does seem reasonable because you can easily just say, hey, you know what? I have learned to use my cyberware a little bit more better, and that's fine. You know? So that seems like a reasonable thing to do, but yeah, at least that's not immersion breaking. At least I don't think that's too immersion breaking. What do you think?
Synergies, but what you may have also noticed is this extra OS slot. This is a mod from the same mod author known as Cyberware EX. And what this is going to do is allow you to install 2 operating systems at once, as long as you do have the cyberware capacity available, and this mod will actually incorporate some of the new perks, so you need to unlock certain perks in order to open up this new cyberware slot. And from there, you can get some pretty insane combat encounters. You could use quick hacks to soften enemies, then finish them off with Berserk as you move in, or alternatively, of course, you can use a Cyberdeck and a Sandevistan at the same time to get some pretty crazy slow time combos. And there's even an optional version of this mod that will increase the capacity of a variety of other cyberware slots, and even allows you to have up to 3 operating systems at once.
Yeah, it seems like you combine a couple of these mods together and you're literally god moding it like there's no tomorrow. Well, I mean, if you want that, you can easily get it, and I think that's kind of a neat thing to have. at least it's an option, right?
Although at first glance this could appear to be a bit overpowered, it honestly is surprisingly balanced because you still have to deal with the cyberware capacity system, so you still will be limited in how much cyberware you can actually apply to your character unless you heavily invest with perks or other things. And during all of this gameplay, I was also using the really cool new mod with Preem Scanner. This will remove the pixelated effect green tint vignette and even change the crosshair while using your scanner, which I think just looks a lot nicer and just overall going to be a nice visual change. With that said, that's a little over 20 mods you can download right now for Cyberpunk 2077 that will genuinely make patch 2.0 and Phantom Liberty a bit more fun. And if you are diving into the new expansion, check out—
That's pretty decent. That was about Juice Head. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like it. I mean, the fact that Cyberpunk even has mods like this is pretty cool. Admittedly, most people don't play with mods. Again, mods are in no way and absolutely any case a justification for having a shitty base game. And again, reminder, Cyberpunk maybe is now on its redemption arc, and everyone's happy, especially with the story of Phantom Liberty. But remember, Cyberpunk came out shit. And even if there were mods to fix it at that time, which I don't know about, well, it's no excuse. So, admittedly, the fact that there are mods and it does add options for you, how to change things, how to fix things, how to make the game more appealing to you. I mean, it's always a nice thing. Even in Starfield, I honestly think it's just a nice thing to have, if I'm being completely honest. So, I can't really complain. And, well, the main thing is, I bet that a lot of people didn't even know that there are mods for Cyberpunk. Hey, it's a single-player game. Single-player games are always going to have mods, okay? I mean, too bad we didn't have any more hot companions or romance options, but hey, with time, boys. With time, as they say. Anyway, this was Quizzer Said, and thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.